أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن تمسسكم حسنة تسؤهم وإن تصبكم سيئة يفرحوا بها وإن تصبروا وتتقوا لا يضركم كيدهم شيئا إن الله بما يعملون محيط. وإذ غدوت من أهلك تبوئ المؤمنين مقاعد للقتال والله سميع عليم. إذ هم الطائفتان منكم أن تفشلا والله وليهما وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. صدق الله العظيم. إن تمسسكم حسنة تسؤهم. If any good comes to you, O believers, then it troubles them. يعني the enemies of Muslimin, enemies of Islam. This is one alamah, this is one sign. That if any good, khair, benefit comes to you, then it disturbs them. They don't like it. They have to, they're not happy with it. وإن تصبكم سيئة يفرحوا بها. And if any difficulty comes upon you, then they will rejoice. If any evil afflicts you, they become happy. They like this. So this is a sign of the enemies of Islam and Muslims. How can you tell someone is in Islam of any Muslim? That one way is, if any good comes to you, you see that they are in trouble, they'll try to change that good. They themselves will, now they may put on a garb of different words and different plots, etc. But in reality, they do not like it. And if any evil comes to you, they may come with lying faces and say we apologize, but in reality they are rejoicing inside. وَإِن تُصِبْكُمْ سَيِّئَةٌ يَفْرَحُوا بِهَا. However, should this disturb Muslimun? Should this disturb you as an ummah, that this is how people are acting? No. Why? وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا لَا يَضُرُّكُمْ كَيْدُهُمْ شَيْئًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that if you persevere and have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then their plots will not harm you. In other words, if you connect this with the earlier portion of the ayah, that when good comes to you, then it disturbs them, and when evil afflicts you, they rejoice. So they won't just sit there. Rather, they will plot against you. How can they change that good into evil? And if good has come to you, how can they make that into evil? And if there's any evil that has come to you, how can that remain upon you? And if you are trying to come out of that difficulty, how can they put you further inside? Right? So that's why the Quran, after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا, yani upon their kaid, upon their plot, how they will plot against you. وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا, if you persevere. Persevere, yani what does that mean? Yani continuing, وَتَتَّقُوا, that have taqwa of Allah ta'ala. وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا عَلَى الطَّاعَاتِ, persevere in serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Persevere in staying away from haram. Persevering upon whatever other difficulties come upon you. And persevering upon iman. That's the very first. In the Surah Al-Asr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالْعَصْرِ, a huge oath, وَالْعَصْرِ, by the time. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ, indeed man is doomed. And these are common words you'll hear. If something happens, oh, we're doomed. There's nothing that we can do now. We are in loss. So the Quran Hakim says, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ, definitely, you are doomed. Insan is. However, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, if you have belief. If you have belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you believe that there is an Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you're not in khasara. Then you're not at loss. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, but the condition, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, that you persevere upon a'mal, that you continue doing what you're supposed to do. So you don't take people's worries that they put upon you, that people are putting these difficulties and so many hurdles in our way, and that should not stop you from your deen. That should not stop you from your deen. So if the way out of the difficulty is by following deen, is by believing in Allah Ta'ala, having consciousness of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا لَا يَضُرُّكُمْ كَيْدُهُمْ شَيْئًا, then their plots will not harm you one bit. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ مُحِيطٌ, indeed Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is all knowing, all encompassing regarding what they do. Then after the Quran Kareem gives two examples. The one example of the battle of Uhud, and thereafter the battle of Badr. Now what happened in battle of Uhud was that after the battle of Uhud was after Badr. So in the second year of Hijrah, Badr took place in the year thereafter, Uhud. In Badr, as you may know, that Rasul Sahaba gave a devastating loss to the Kuffar Makkah. They obviously were not happy about this and they wanted revenge. Hence the battle of Uhud took place. So when the Kuffar Makkah, they came and they camped outside Medina, outside of Medina they were camped. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Sahaba anhum, when they were in Medina, Rasul Sallallahu his own opinion was that it is better that we stay inside Medina and we wait for them to come, and if need be then we will engage. Otherwise we should not leave Medina Munawwara and go outside and engage with the kuffar. The younger Sahaba anhum, mostly they insisted and they persisted that no, we should go out. Why? They had the valor, they had obviously the zeal, and many Sahaba who were unable to partake in Badr, they wanted to show their khidmah and service towards Deen, and they wanted to sacrifice themselves. So they persisted and insisted that Rasulullah ﷺ and Sahaba go out and meet the Kuffar Makkah outside of Medina. So hence Rasulullah ﷺ accepted their suggestion, and the Sahaba anhum went out. When Rasulullah ﷺ reached where we know as the area of Uhud, which is the name of the mountain, so Rasulullah ﷺ fixed some archers in what is known as Jabal al-Rumah. Many of those that went for Hajj and Umrah probably saw that smaller mountain. So upon that, Rasulullah ﷺ fixed 50 archers and told them not to move from here in any case, so that they will protect the Sahaba anhum in case the enemy comes from the back to attack them. As the battle ensued, the Sahaba anhum, Rasulullah were gaining victory, and many Sahaba started picking up the spoils of war. When the Sahaba on the mountain saw this, those archers, they saw that now it seems that the battle has come to an end, and they said, okay, now that it has come to an end, we can also go and start picking up the spoils of war with the rest of our companions. Many Sahaba who were upon the mountain, they said that no, Rasulullah told us not to move from here, no matter what happens. Only once he tells us to move, then we will move, otherwise we cannot. The other Sahaba said that no, we can go now, etc., and they left. When they left, Khalid bin Walid, who was not at the time a Sahabi, he brought a band of the Kuffar Makkah and came and attacked Rasulullah and the Sahaba from the back, and this resulted in 70 of the Sahaba becoming shuhada, and Hamza amongst them. And you may have also seen the qubur when you went to Uhud, that is cornered off over there. So this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after this ayah quotes the incident of Uhud to show that look, when you as a Sahaba or even a group amongst you did not completely follow the command of the Rasul, even though they did not intend to disobey the Rasul, but they said that no, we can leave now, which apparently was not following the command of Rasul. See, the result which happened was what? The 70 of your Sahaba became martyred, and what was supposed to be a victory, now that victory is lost now. So this was brought as an example in the Quran Kareem, that when you do not persevere and follow the direct command of the Rasul. إِذْ هَمَّتْ طَائِفَةٌ وَإِذْ غَدَوْتَ مِنْ أَهْلِكَ. Remember, O Muhammad when you left from in the early morning, your family, to تُبَوِّئُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, to settle the believers, مَقَاعِدَ لِلْقِتَالِ, to position them for the fight. Wallahu Sami'un Alim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was most hearing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was most knowing. إِذْ هَمَّتْ طَائِفَتَانِ مِنْكُمْ أَنْ تَفْشَلَا. So as the Sahaba were leaving Medina Munawwara to go towards the Kuffar Makkah, and they met them at Uhud, Abdullah ibn Ubay bin Salul, who was a munafiq, the leader of the munafiqun, the hypocrites, he said that, you know what, this is suicide, there's no need for us to go out, etc., so we are leaving. So he took around 1/3, which were all munafiqun, and they left the army of Rasulullah and the Sahaba. Some true Sahaba, when they saw this, they were discouraged. That look, we are so few now in number. How will we be able to engage with the enemy? So some of Sahaba anhum, they this thought came to their minds that maybe we should also go back. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that إِذْ هَمَّ الطَّائِفَتَانِ مِنْكُمْ أَنْ تَفْشَلُوا. The Quran Kareem says that even two groups amongst you became faint-hearted. And when they saw this act of the munafiqun, they also became faint-hearted and they also wanted to leave. However, Wallahu waliyuhum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was their patron. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them istiqamah and they stood with Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Sahaba. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ. And those who have true tawakkul should only trust and rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq. After that, the Quran Kareem quotes the incident of Badr, which is an example of when the Sahaba did persevere and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assisted them with sending malaika for their assistance. May dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding of the Quran.